intimacy evolve with time. Today I'm 51, my husband is 53. The intimacy is not the same that when we were 20, 30, or even 40. A deeper spiritual connection, an understanding of each other. Just a look would mean so much more than word can never say. So conflicts are inevitable in a marriage. And it's, as I said earlier, it's via this conflict that we do a lot of growth, right? And these growths come from the resolution of these problems. The key is to learn how to navigate conflicts respectfully. And if there's one advice, something that I'd learned when conflicts come, is to always have at the forefront that you are part of the same team. Always. It doesn't matter what you battling about at the time. You are part of the same team. And there's something also, there's an advice that I take from my own experience, and is to never throw the word divorce as a weapon, to not use the word divorce. Words weigh a lot. Words have a weight, right? And it's something that you're calling into your life. When I was younger, that was my biggest weapon until it almost happened around the 7 years of our marriage. And I was the one bringing it into our lives, into our marriage, because that was the only weapon that I had to hurt my husband when we were in a fight. And it's funny how we've grown since, Today, a conflict, it's, yes, let's agree to disagree. Okay, we don't have to be on the same page, but let's disagree respectfully. And how can we come back and find a resolution where we can both be satisfied? And if we don't, let's just leave it at that. We don't have to agree for everything. And it's not because we don't agree on something that is the end of the world or the end of the marriage, right? So it's something to keep in mind. Always be respectful, even when you're in a conflict. Forgiveness is freedom. Guys, we know that. Not just in marriage. Holding back on whatever happened in the past keep us from moving forward, keep us from growing in our marriage, keep us stuck in the past. And we women, we're good at that. We're good at bringing back an old story from 20 years ago. You did that, and bringing something that happened and so long ago into the present. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help. Once you forgave, leave it behind you. Leave it behind you so you can move forward in your marriage and so you can grow together in your marriage. And without forgiveness, there's no healing. If there's no healing, life gets more complicated. So forgiveness is for us, it's for our own freedom. Support each other's dream. This is very important, and more so for the African diaspora. We are usually caught up into supporting the family back home and putting a lot of our money to help extended family. And that can really eat in a lot of our savings and the money that we could use to live out our dream, to go after our dreams, our passions. And this has happened to us where we've put a lot of our savings into building for generational wealth, building for giving something back to the community. So this put a lot of stress into a lot of marriage, because the focus is rarely into going after our dreams, our passions. And it's only recently and that I told you I've been traveling and looking after myself and going after my own dreams, because I feel that, and that's what I'm telling my husband, that we've done our part. It's time now to invest on ourselves and go after our dreams. This life is really short. Yes, it's the duty of a lot of people from the diaspora to give back to the community. And we're all doing it one way or another. But it can come to a point where it becomes detrimental to our own lives. And we only working to give back. I think it's like giving the how do you call that? La dîme. You know what you give at church. You give 10% for some people. And you're giving something, but you need to keep something for yourselves. And at some point, there's a moment where you say, enough, I've done my part. Now, I want to live for myself. So it's important to support each other's dream. And not just that, in a marriage as well. It's, again, coming back to the woman who's selfless, who is the carer, who is everything for everyone else. So, and it's important for men to understand and support women into them wanting to prioritize themselves and not see that as being selfish. And vice versa, whatever your husband's dream is. And it's important to allow each other to go after our dreams. That's only bring us stronger and create trust and create connection, create a deeper understanding and love for each other. Because if you love, you want each other to go after his dream, after his passions about, financial harmony is key. So being on the same page when it comes to finance, transparency is key. Because one of the big hurdles that comes up in a marriage can be money. And when there's no transparency, issue will definitely arise. So a lot of couples chose to have a joint account, so there's transparency. Everybody knows what everyone else is spending, and etc. So there's not much that I can add to this, but money can be like a sore or difficult subject when it comes to marriage, when it's not addressed properly, when there's not enough of transparency and honesty when it comes to money and the way we want to deal with money in the marriage. And the other thing as well is why honesty, trust is very important even when it comes to finance. It's because, usually we are very complementary to each other, right? One may be a big spender and one may be a saver. Well, it's not to the big spender that you're gonna give the handling of the family money, right? You give it to the person that will be able to grow the money, save the money, and use it efficiently, right? So, and for that, this is where all these points come and link with each other. That's where the partnership is also very important, right? Because you are here as the same team. And so you have different roles that come and complement each other. And you may already have your own debt, student loan, etc. And it's very important to come together and be honest about where you are at and how together you will come and deal with what is now your debts. Parenting is a joint effort. And this is where that I was talking about, I can't remember which point it was, about having shared value, having like a shared family culture, right? Because it's with this shared value that you're going to be raising your children. If you don't have shared values, then a joint parenting will not be working, because you both will be saying something different to the children, and you will, not only confuse your children, but it's going to bring a lot of issues between you, right? Let's say about religions, maybe somebody want to Christian baptize the kids, another parents might not. These are the things that you will have to discuss before bringing these kids in this world, because you have to discuss what are the values that you want for your children. Do you want to raise them with a religion? Do you want to raise them, without? In which type? There's so much that need to be addressed before having kids, and to make sure that parenting becomes a shared effort, right? So because that will play into the way you want to raise them, which school you want them to go. Time alone is important. So the more you grow into the marriage, the more you age into your marriage, then you realize that time spent apart is as important than time spent together. Today, I so cherish my personal time. Right now, I'm here in the UK. My husband is in Cameroon. And even at the beginning of the marriage, a lot of us, when we get married, we forget about friends, we forget about everyone else. It's just about us. No, keep your friendship. Continue having girls, time. And for the men, the same. And this what keeps you balanced, and avoid being so codependent. This is for the people who have some kind of faith. It doesn't have to be religion. It could be spirituality. It could be anything, having faith, a shared faith in your marriage. But I'm going to be talking about, believing in God, right? It's something that can definitely strengthen your marriage, especially when you're going through rough times. I remember times where, we human guys, we are humans, so we are going to deceive each other. We're going to disappoint each other. The times in your marriage where you have lost completely faith in your marriage, in your husband, you cannot understand each other, and the only thing you have left is your faith. And there has been times where, if I didn't have my faith, if I didn't put God in the center of our marriage, if I didn't rely on him and not on my husband, that we would not have been married until today. Because you cannot change anyone but yourself. So this time where it was very difficult for me to talk to my husband, I would pray to God to touch his heart, to help him, and to help us understand each other. And these have saved me countless of time where I was relying on God and not on my husband alone. Because if I was just relying on him or on myself, that it's important to have something bigger, stronger than ourselves. That's extremely important, you know. There's more. There's something bigger than us. And for some, it could be, I was going to say the children, not in the sense where you have to stay with each other for the kid. No, in the sense where the respect that you have for each other, even when you are not in agreement with each other, the respect, the care, the love that you keep for each other can come from the fact that you have children with each other. You know, you have kids together, and for these children, whether you agree or not, you need to keep respecting each other for these children. If it's not for both of you, at least for these children. So faith can definitely and is a foundation if you have that in your life. If you put your faith in the middle of your marriage as your, I don't know how to call it, the roots of your marriage, the base of your marriage, the foundation is based on God. Yes, you have a lot more chance to succeed.